What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City football video. This time we're going to be covering the Manchester City latest news, with all the latest news that's been happening from last week and into this week. We're basically covering the international breaks. I'm going to be covering players' performances plus some news elsewhere too with regards to Manchester City. So we're going to crack on with this video, and we're first up going to be talking about a future game. We're going to be speaking about the FA Cup semi-final. Now, Manchester City drawn Brighton, as you may well be aware. That is going to be on April 6th, Saturday, April 6th, with a kick-off time of 5:30 PM GMT, and it will be live on BBC One for anyone not being able to go to the stadium. Now, at Wembley, we've been given the East Stand, which is the boring end. We all prefer the West side, if I'm honest. You're given a bigger allocation in the West side too. City have been allocated an initial 33,000 tickets for this game, £30 being the cheapest tickets, which are still available if you're interested in going to Wembley. Now, they've done a draw for this game for who's going to have the home and who's going to have the away kits. City, unfortunately, have lost this, so we're going to be in our away kit. And I'm hoping we're going to be in our nice black one, because I do like our black away kit. I'm hoping it's not going to be the purple one. But yeah, Brighton are going to be in the blue and white stripes for that game. And also, coincidentally with that, Manchester City, with regards to the tickets, have put on a half-price coach deal for you being able to go to Wembley and back. I've used them before, quite efficient. So if you're wanting to grab that, then that's going to be £20. So if you've never been to Wembley or Manchester City and you're living up in the northwest, then £50, you could have a return journey to Wembley to see Manchester City play Brighton. If you're living further down south and you're able to get to Wembley, get yourself a ticket, £30. It's a good standard of football there. Wembley FA Cup semi-final, the final on the line. I'm not too sure we're going to sell out though, unfortunately. I do think, my opinion, this, and I will cover this in another video, that perhaps should have made it priority that if you went to this game for the semi-final, you get priority for the final. You watch them 33,000 tickets fly off the shelves then. Now, coincidentally, because of that, Manchester City's match against Cardiff, which was scheduled for April 6th, has now been moved to April 3rd. So Liverpool's got a game in hand on us, but that's not going to last too long, because April 3rd, we're going to be playing Wednesday at 19:45 PM GMT, which is 7:45 if you don't know your 24-hour clocks. So yeah, that game has been moved. That's going to be live on Sky Sports 2. Now we're going to move on into news with Manchester City. There's been sources close at West Ham which have been saying that Pablo Zabaleta, he is considering an offer to join Manchester City next season as part of Pep's coaching staff. He hasn't decided yet if he wants to continue with football or retire and join a coaching staff and work for his badges. If that is the case, I imagine Manchester City will be his destination. So might we have Zaba coming home? You never know. Next up, some rather unfortunate news, this one. Leroy Sané and Ilkay Gundogan have been out on international duty with Germany, and whilst they were playing a match against Serbia in a friendly last week, they were racially abused. Why this is still in football, I don't know, and unfortunately this isn't the only case with Manchester City players involved this week, but 3 men have handed themselves into police after the Serbia match with Germany, and in my opinion, it's just scum. It's just no need for it. I mean, it's... I don't really have many words for it, if I'm completely honest, but hopefully the players will be able to recover well. Leroy Sané did, ended up scoring for them, Germany, Amsterdam, winning 3-2, which was a good result. So yeah, Leroy Sané got over that one. So chin up to both of them, come back home to Manchester City, where you'll feel the everlasting love. Now, better news for Raheem Sterling, as he started for England in the opening Euro 2020 qualifier in the home match at Wembley against the Czech Republic. And Raheem Sterling, being Raheem Sterling, of course, goes and bags himself a hat-trick. Kyle Walker started too, as England ended up thumping Czech Republic 5-0, as England got off to a great start. And then we went away to Montenegro, got off to a bad start, ended up conceding, but we ended up winning the game 5-1. And once again, Raheem Sterling gets on the score sheet. However, this was overshadowed by the Montenegro fans, who were known for their hostility, doing more racist chanting. You had it from Serbia, you now had it from Montenegro. What is it with these Balkan states and doing this? I think it's something. I think UEFA need to, you know, clamp down on it and start making harsher punishments. May that be banning these teams from the Euros and competitions and stuff like that. Might be what's needed. Not just empty stadiums, but start punishing the country too, until they start learning that it isn't okay. But Danny Rose and Raheem Sterling ended up feeling the brunt of the racist chanting that was going on there, with Raheem Sterling doing a wonderful celebration in regards to them. Now, with some good news here, David Silva and Benjamin Mendy, they've been out in Dubai over the last week or so, as they've been looking for some warm weather fitness improvements, and Benjamin Mendy and David Silva also visited injury clinics too. I'm not too sure if David Silva's got a serious injury or whether it's just a niggly one he's looking to try and improve on or not. I'm not too sure. sure, but he has been training. Benjamin Mendy obviously has been training too, so hopefully we'll have them back, as we've had Fernandinho, Vincent Kompany, Benjamin Mendy, Kevin De Bruyne, who have all trained for Manchester City. Still not got an update on Bravo. I imagine we'll get an update though once Pep has done his press conference, so I'll give you details of that in a future video, so make sure you stay tuned for that one, or I might just announce it on Twitter if you want to go and follow me on there, link in the description below. Now City, they've announced some pre-season fixtures. This time we're going to be heading to China for the Asia Cup. 4 Premier League teams have been announced in this Asia Cup, including Manchester City, Newcastle United, West Ham United, and also Wolverhampton Wanderers. The semi-finals going to be in Nanjing, I hope that's how you say that, and then the 3rd place, 4th place playoff and the final will be held in Shanghai. The semi-final is going to be on July 17th, my birthday coincidentally, and the 3rd, 4th place playoff and the final will be on July 20th. Of course, City are already heading out to Japan for some pre-season games too, so Far Eastern Asia for Manchester City's destination this summer. Now Pep is set to be getting a new sponsor by Puma. Now, he had a Puma coat on earlier this season, and I thought he was already sponsored by them, but obviously not, so he's set to now be sponsored by them, so he'll be wearing more Puma merchandise. As you imagine, he'll be wearing it along with Manchester City's training kits and things like that. But Puma have said not only do they want the top coach in Pep Guardiola being sponsored, they want Manchester City's best players, and their high-branded players being sponsored by Puma too. So I'm queuing Raheem Sterling, will probably be up there as being the next player to be sponsored by Puma. Of course, already some Manchester City players have already got that sponsorship. I think David Silva, Vincent Kompany and Sergio Aguero, just to name a few off the top of my head. Now, some great news here for Manchester City youngster Matt Smith. He signed a new 4.5-year deal at Manchester City. He's been out on loan at FC 20 this season. He's done very well. He's had a fantastic season over there, and he's been given a reward by Manchester City. So I'm wondering, what does the future hold? Are we going to see him in pre-season? Is he going to be in and around the Manchester City squad next season? He's a midfielder after all. We might be looking at a midfielder. If we get a transfer ban, he might be a useful player to have around. Are we going to loan him out? Have they got him on a new contract so they can get more money to sell him? I do not know, so I'd like to know your thoughts of that in the comments below. Now, some extremely unfortunate and sad news for this one in the penultimate bit of news, but former Manchester City secretary of over 40 years and the club's life president and the Manchester City Hall of Famer. He's the only non-player or manager to be on the Hall of Fame at Manchester City. Bernhard Alford has died, unfortunately, at the age of 77. So I want to say my deepest condolences to his family and friends from everyone here at JSGC, and also the thoughts are with his family and friends at this extremely difficult time. If you want to think of happy memories, he lifted the FA Cup in 2011 at Wembley. Not a player, not a coach, just a person that's worked at the club, a Manchester City through and through fan. Got to lift the FA Cup. What a huge honour, and what an absolutely fantastic life, and what dedicated service and loyalty he has shown to Manchester City. So may Bernhard rest in peace. And lastly, in the news, well, Phil Foden's been speaking out this morning. He said that he's growing frustrated at his playing time at Manchester City, and he's trying and willing to stay at Manchester City and force his way into the Manchester City squad. However, he's growing frustrated at not getting enough minutes and starts. Of course, I think this has come about from the fact that we've got Hudson-Odoi and also Jadon Sancho at the moment shining for England and getting appearances in the national squad, which naturally means then they'll probably get more minutes for their clubs, for Dortmund and Chelsea, etc, etc. And Phil Foden must be envious of this all happening and thinking, if I only had more playing time, I'd be in the same situation. I'd be getting starts for England and I'd be playing in these great games. And instead he's watching his former colleague in Jadon Sancho, who he went through the academy with Manchester City with, who then left to push through, and he stayed at Manchester City, and now Jadon Sancho's getting the rewards, while Phil Foden's thinking to himself probably, oh. So yeah, what Phil Foden needs to do, just stick with it, make sure that he works hard, he continues to work hard, he will prosper, guarantee it. He's getting coached by Pep, he isn't going to burn out, he's going to get plenty of opportunities over the next 2 or 3 seasons, he will get his England call-up, he'll get his England starts, don't worry about that, Phil. You will. I'm sure he's frustrated. The fact that Kevin De Bruyne has had a long injury this season, he's still not got many more minutes, but the time is coming where players like David Silva will probably leave Manchester City with his contract coming up, I think, at end of next season, and so there's more chances of more minutes, and Manchester City possibly having transfer bans, so there has to be a time where Phil Foden will get more minutes, and it's coming. He's only 18 years old. Just keep working, and keep working. Eventually he'll get his opportunity, he'll get his position, and he'll nail it down. I'm very confident in Phil Foden. He is a wonderful player. Just stick with it, Phil. We're all behind you 100%, as I'm sure Manchester City are too. But it does bring into question Manchester City's policy with youngsters, which I've done plenty of videos on already if you want to go and check them out on my channel. So there we go, that's been the video. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, leave a thumbs up. Make sure you let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you press the red button, subscribe, and press the bell and put your push notifications on to be kept in the loop with all things football and Manchester City from me, JSGC. If you want to go and check out my Twitter and Instagram and want to go and follow me on there, links in the description below. I'm going to be popping them up on screen if you want to go and search for me on there. If you wish, you can go and help support me on there. That would be much appreciated. Always appreciative of more gains in numbers on there. I'm looking for gains in numbers on here too. We are very close now to 2,500 subscribers. My aim, we're now, I think, less than 60 away. I think we're 59 subscribers away, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Go and check out my other videos. I'll leave a random video up for you at the end of the video if you go and check that out, and I'll see you all again for the next video. It's going to be the preview for the Fulham game, so international duty done and dusted, thank heavens for that. So we'll be back with regular content with so many games coming up in this final push towards the end of the season. So I'll see you all again for the upcoming videos. So it's been JSGC. Hope you all have a wonderful and lovely rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.